All right, so last time we had a really interesting look at chapter 7 of the Bhagavad Gita.
Hmm.
But today we're moving on to chapter 8,
Okay.
which, well,
Mm-hmm.
you know how sometimes you kind of feel like you're just stuck in the daily grind
Yeah, for sure.
and you sort of wonder, what's the point of it all?
Right, right.
Like, what's it all leading up to?
Yeah, I think everyone feels that sometimes.
Well, chapter 8 actually kind of offers some guidance on that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's like thinking about the final chapter of your life,
Oh, I see.
Not in a morbid way,
Right.
but more like, what do we want to be remembered for?
Yeah, that makes sense.
What kind of legacy do we want to leave?
Hmm.
So I'm curious,
Yeah.
what does chapter 8 actually say about this final chapter idea?
Well, there's this really interesting statement from Krishna in chapter 8.
Okay.
He says, "Those who remember me at the time of your departure will attain the ultimate state."
Hmm. The ultimate state.
Hmm.
That sounds pretty profound.
It is, but it's not necessarily about religion or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
It's more about where our energy and attention are focused.
So like what we're thinking about.
Exactly.
Hmm.
You see, if our minds are always consumed with worries and anxieties,
Yeah.
we're just constantly running on a hamster wheel.
Always chasing something.
Right. And never really getting anywhere.
So how do we step off that hamster wheel?
Well, Krishna suggests that we need to shift our
To
focus.
something else.
Yeah, to something more meaningful, something bigger than ourselves.
But how do we even know what's meaningful in that sense?
Well, that's a personal question, isn't it?
Yeah, true.
But I think instead of chasing every opportunity that comes our way,
Mm-hmm.
we can ask ourselves, is this actually aligned with my long-term values and goals?
That's a good point.
You know, chapter 8 also talks about this really cool exercise.
Oh, yeah. What is it?
They suggest envisioning your life as a book.
Like literally?
Yeah, like a story with chapters.
Okay, I like that.
So think about it. What do you want your final chapter to look like?
That's deep.
It is. And let that vision guide your choices today.
So if I want my final chapter to be about, say, strong relationships, then I should prioritize spending time with loved ones now.
Exactly. Or if you want it to be about pursuing your passions, maybe you need to start making time for that creative project you've been putting off.
Right, so our actions today are kind of like writing the chapters of our book.
I like that analogy.
But life isn't always smooth sailing.
No, it's not.
There are bound to be challenges and obstacles along the way.
Absolutely.
So how does chapter 8 address that?
Well, it emphasizes the importance of mindfulness, especially during tough times.
Mindfulness.
Yeah, like being present in the moment.
Mm.
So imagine you're facing a difficult situation at work,
Okay.
or maybe there's a conflict in your personal life.
Yeah.
Instead of getting swept away by the stress and anxiety, take a moment to just breathe.
Breathe. Yeah.
Yeah, and ask yourself,
What should we be asking?
what's the bigger picture here?
So it's like taking a step back
Right.
and trying to see things from a different perspective.
Exactly. And, even small shifts in perspective can make a big difference over time.
Kind of like adjusting the sail on a boat.
Yeah, a small adjustment can change your entire course.
So I guess the key takeaway from chapter 8 is that we have the power to shape our own stories
I think so.
by aligning our actions with our bigger purpose
Mm-hmm.
and by staying mindful even when things get tough.
Absolutely.
It's amazing to think that small steps, like simply being present in the moment,
Yeah.
can actually lead to such significant changes in our lives.
It's about the long game, isn't it?
Definitely.
Small, consistent actions add up over time.
It's pretty inspiring, actually.
It is.
Well, I'm really looking forward to diving into chapter 9 next time,
Me too.
which explores faith and focus, right?
That's right.
Sounds fascinating.
It is.
But before we wrap up our exploration of chapter 8 today, I'd love to leave our listeners with a few things to ponder.
Sure.
If your life were a book, what would you want the final chapter to say?
That's a good one.
And what one small step can you take
Yeah.
today to actually start moving towards that vision?
I think those are great questions to reflect on.
Yeah, something to think about until we're back for our next deep dive into chapter 9.
I can't wait.
See you then.
See ya.